Hey team, Caitlin Bell here. It is so good to be back with you guys on Sundays and now online in a video. Last time I was recording a video, I was actually in early labor. And so now, next video, he's here with me again. And we're excited to be back with you and getting back to work. It will probably look a little bit different for me on Sundays for a while as I bring Henry with me and as Andrew Brantley takes over Redeemer Kids as Ben transitions to worship. But just know that we are always around, and if you need anything, please call us on the walkie, text us, whatever you need. I probably will not be in as many pre-service meetings quite as much as I had been. Maybe I will be. We'll see. We'll figure it out together. But just a heads up, Sundays might look a tiny bit different from me moving forward, but we'll figure it out. And I'm definitely always still here if you need anything. And speaking of Andrew, I just wanted to say that I'm really excited to get to start working closely with him and how that's going to influence kids in the future. But I also just want to take a minute and recognize Ben again for everything that he has poured into Redeemer Kids. His handprints are all over what we do down here, all over this ministry, and I will miss getting to work with him so closely, but I'm also so excited for him to move into worship and for our church to get to experience him in that capacity. So Ben, thank you. We miss you, but we're also excited for you. Okay, moving on to announcements. I do have one big announcement, and you should have seen it in Church Center already. But if you haven't, or if you just wanted further clarification, we have decided to go ahead and restructure our classrooms over here in Luther Hall, and that's going to start the first Sunday in December. So we previously offered 3 classes at the 8:30. See if we can get him settled. We previously offered 3 classes at the 8:30. This is all in Luther, and 4 at the 10:30. And now we're going to transition to just offering 3 at both services, and the 3 classes are also going to be the exact same class. So our new classrooms, or they're going to be identical at both services instead of different. So our 3 classrooms are going to be pre-K and kinder in the pre-K room, and then down in the far right-hand room, that is going to become first and second, and then in the far left-hand room, that is going to become 3rd through 5th. So the biggest change is we're just moving 3rd graders up and moving kindergartners down with the pre-K. We did this for a couple of different reasons. Ben and I had actually already started thinking about this move, and then we've had a couple volunteers even make recommendation that we move the 3rd graders up to the older kids, but we just didn't have time before I went on maternity leave. So now is it's like a perfect time to go ahead and make that transition for them. So for a couple more like solid reasons that I wrote down, we did it to simplify our schedule, kind of like I mentioned, so there's unity across both services. But we've gotten consistent feedback from those 1st through 3rd grade teachers that's like a wide range, and the older kids really are ready for more, and the younger kids are wanting to engage in a little bit different way than those older kids are. And we have had to put our 3rd graders in that older classroom before on days when maybe somebody's not here at the last minute. And we found that our 3rd graders always do really well in that room. So I think they're going to be great in there. I think it'll be good for our teachers. I think it'll be good for our kids overall. It'll give those 3rd graders some room to grow and be pulled up by the older kids, and then also give our 1st and 2nd graders some more space for the level of engagement that they need and also seem to want. So I'm really excited about this change, and I hope it will serve all of our classroom experiences better. A smaller side announcement, Mel sent out the service requests through February, for December through February. So please go ahead and look ahead at your holiday schedules and go ahead and start going through the process of finding swaps and subs if you need to. We will get through the holiday season together as a team. We always make it work, and it's going to be great. If you want a refresher on subs and swaps, as always, you can watch the video right up here in the corner. And those are all of the announcements I have for you. Okay, moving on. Welcome to our Unit 26 video. We are currently right in the middle of volume 9, from death to resurrection, and it covers units 25, 26, and 27. Now in this video, as always, I am going to cover the unit 26 overview, big picture question, and the memory verse. But I'm gonna try something a little bit different when it comes to covering each lesson in this video. Instead of individually breaking down each one, I am going to give more of a flyover that connects each lesson to each other, as well as the big picture of what we're talking about in unit 26. So for this unit's video, please watch the entire video to get the overview of where your lesson fits in. Our 4 lessons of unit 26 are gonna run us November 19th through December 10th. And here's what we're gonna talk about. Our unit 26 big picture question. How is Jesus the perfect priest? Last unit we talked about the perfect prophet. Now we're moving on to the perfect priest. Jesus was the perfect sacrifice for sin, and he speaks to God the Father for us today. I'm gonna be really honest, for this unit, I'm not sure how to shorten this for our youngest kids. Maybe you could really make it easy and just ask them, who is the perfect priest, and then have them shout Jesus, and learn that. And then maybe talk about what a priest does with those younger kids. Or maybe the big picture question for this unit is short enough on its own and you can cover it however you want. If anyone has any ideas though on how to shorten it, please feel free to post a message in Church Center. I'm sure our other teachers would love to see that. Either way, for the next month, we're talking about Jesus as our perfect priest. Our memory verse for this unit is Hebrews 4:15. For we have a high priest who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. You can find it on your TVs, titled Unit 26 Memory Verse. This unit song is a little cheesy, I'm not gonna lie. Even Eleanor didn't really like it at first when I played it for her, but we practiced it together, and when I really got into it and did it with her, she started to really enjoy it. So I wanna challenge you, just pretend like you love it, pretend like it's your favorite song, get into it, don't be afraid to look silly, just do it for Jesus. Maybe the kids will then follow along, because it is a great memory verse. Just the song is a little cheesy. But that's what we're doing. Moving on, our unit overview. So what we're talking about every week. In our last unit, we learned about the warnings of Jesus, and now we are moving on to the arrest of Jesus in the story of his life. So here's our unit 26 description. The time for Jesus' resurrection was at hand. After sharing a special meal with his disciples, Jesus was betrayed by one of his own and was arrested. Even as his death approached, Jesus continued to act as a perfect priest, loving his followers and praying to the Father on their behalf. And that right there is exactly what we're going to be talking about every single week. I'll read it again. Even as his death approached, Jesus continued to act as a perfect priest, loving his followers and praying to the Father on their behalf. So over the next 4 weeks, let's make sure that our kids know what a priest even is. You might want to cover that every week. Page 60 of the leader guide has a really, I thought, great definition. It says that a priest was in charge of sacrifices and offerings at worship places. They also acted as a go-between for the people and God, which is also exactly what our big picture question says. He was a sacrifice and he speaks to God on our behalf. So as each of these lessons walk us through the actual story leading up to the arrest of Jesus, we are keeping in mind that he is our perfect priest, and that is because he's faithful on the path, he continues to pray for his followers, and he's faithful and obedient to God's plan. So now moving on to the actual lessons, I'm just going to hit them all really briefly. And here is how they're all going to connect. So 26.1 on November 19th, we're covering Jesus was anointed with oil on his feet by Mary. We're going to see that Mary's oil was not a waste, but that it was worship. And it was anointing him for his ultimate death after his arrest. 26.2 on November 26th, we're learning that Jesus shared a meal. Right before Jesus is arrested, we're going to see Jesus lay the foundation for us that he is our Passover lamb who will forgive our sins. 26.3 on December 3rd, Jesus was arrested. Through it all, we're going to see Jesus be faithful and obedient to the Father's plan so that he could be a sacrifice to save us. And then finally, on December 10th, 26.4, we will review the unit by talking about Jesus as our perfect priest. He became our perfect priest. He became the perfect sacrifice for sins through his arrest and death and resurrection. And he now intercedes for us. He is now our final perfect priest. So that is our unit 26. That's where we're going to be headed over the course of this month. I hope this was helpful. I've missed you guys, and we're excited to be back, excited for you guys to meet Henry, and really thankful for you. Thanks, and we'll see you on Sunday. Bye.